I would like to tell you a little Christmas story that has nothing to do with Christmas. It happened almost 40 years ago, somewhere in the early 80s. And I was member of this club full of young people. And we spent our time in this club listening to music, talk to each other. And in fact, about everyone in this club was interested in music. Because we were all music lovers, what we did was every last Saturday of the month we invited a band to come and play live in the ballroom that was behind this little cafe. So every end of the month we had another band coming to play, but always good music bands that could really make nice music, not this bunch of amateurs, quality. And sometimes it was a rock band and sometimes it was a more pop music band. And then, of course, if you want to put together some live performance or whatever, it's always lots of work. So in this club we had this small team that worked together to put this all together, to make sure there's enough beer for everyone, that the ballroom is clean and all these things. And my job was to take care of the PA systems. And even after all these years, I still have my old mixing panel. I haven't plugged in this thing for at least 20 years, so I don't know if it still works or not, but that's not the point. That Saturday, the old cafe in the ballroom was ready, or everything was set up to accept this band that was coming to play. The stage was ready, all good to go. And so in the early evening, these band members arrive. And we start to talk to each other and see how we're gonna do things and how we're gonna set instruments and all these things. And we start installing the whole setup. Bringing in the instruments and the amplifiers and speakers and put it all on stage. And I started to install my PA systems and the microphones and all this stuff. And this is where I spotted this girl. I never saw this girl before, and the band that came this evening, I didn't know this band, I never saw these guys at work, so maybe they were together, I don't know. But one of the first things I noticed on this girl is that she wasn't. Most people are, but she wasn't. Maybe I should explain this a little bit better. She wasn't too tall, and she wasn't too short either. She wasn't too large, she wasn't too small either. Her hair was not long, and it was not short. She wasn't blonde, she wasn't dark either. Most young people at that time, they wanted to stand out a bit. They wanted to be noticed. They all had something special, something that pops out, She didn't have that. She was just beautiful, that's all. But no time to fall in love. We have a concert to do. So we finish installing the whole Zwik and then we do the sound check and it sounded good, no problem. And then slowly but surely the whole crowd starts to shuffle in. And after some time the room was filled with people that came to listen, and the band comes on stage and they start to play some kind of opening tune. And after that they started to play their first song. And at that moment you have this girl that comes on stage, walks to the microphone and starts to sing. She was the singer of this band and she had a beautiful voice and she knew damn well how to use it. And for the next 45 minutes the whole public experienced this tsunami of beautiful music, you know. This was just fantastic. And I couldn't keep my eyes off her. Of course, I had to stay concentrated on my PA job, you know, playing with all these buttons on my mixing panel just to make the whole thing sound good. But it worked. Of course, it sounded good. And when the show was over, there was this wave of applause, you know, the people just loved it. It was fantastic. So people keep on clapping and they wanted more, of course. And after a few minutes of continuous clapping, finally there was again movement and this girl walked on stage with an acoustic guitar. And she sits down on this kind of bar stool, you see. So quickly I run to the stage to install a microphone in front of her guitar because there wasn't. And she started to play the guitar and sing a song. And then you have to imagine there is this beautiful girl with a beautiful voice that can play the guitar beautifully and sitting a little bit leaning forward on her bar stool and with one teeth on top of her guitar, you know, playing. And I think to myself, when the show is over, I'm gonna talk to her, that's for sure. And then I have always the same problem. But what will be the opening line? What do you want me to say to this girl? Hi, first time you come here? Yeah, that's a good one. I suppose you find it yourself. I'm not sure it will be an Oscar winner, you know. Hi honey, do you like to take it from behind? Well, that's maybe not really romantic to start with. Hi, you're a good singer, you know that? Yeah, that's gonna work, for sure. And after a few songs, just like every other good thing, the show comes to an end. But I still hadn't my opening line. But the people were clapping, applause, there was a wave of sympathy going to this ballroom. But she leaves the stage. And this is where it happened. She starts to pack her things, put on a jacket and walks straight to the door and she leaves. And I never saw her again.